Well, look who it is. He's back. Everyone's favorite host, Jesse. Y'all know what the title of the channel is at this point. Wanted to come back and let you guys know I wasn't done. Okay? I didn't say I was done. I just said I needed a break. I got that. Now, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty recharged. I'll give you guys a couple of updates. Let y'all know what's been going on lately. So we talked about a couple of videos ago about getting close to my retirement from the military, putting in my 20 years to it, and I finally got some good news. 2 weeks ago, it became official. My letter came in. Last date of service dated for July 23rd, July 29th, 2025. It gives me around about 17, 18 months to get things wrapped up. It's a lot of stuff that goes into a military retirement. That was one of the reasons I needed that break. I knew that was coming up. It wasn't official yet. And internally, I was starting to get a little bit nervous about it. But I know it's going to happen now. I just got to make it there to the end, and we'll move on from there. What's up for old Jesse after that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see what happens to it from there. Number 2. Taking a break from YouTube is a really good thing. Any content creator knows the strain of it, and I don't even do a whole lot on this. I don't edit the videos. I don't add a whole lot of hoopla to it. They typically say for every hour of footage that you film, you can count on at least 4 or 5 of that to go into editing. Now, editing is a good thing. It makes it to where the videos are more enjoyable, adds all the pizzazz to it. That wasn't what I wanted to set out to do when I started this. I tried in some of them. It just didn't really work out. I mainly just wanted to tell the stories and entertain you guys. So when I did my break video, a lot of individuals reached out to me, not saying bye, but saying, Jesse, do that. Take that break that you need. Take a step back. Some exciting news. An individual who runs his own channel, you can find him over at Texas Prison Stories. He reached out to me, was interested in doing an interview. Dude, I'm sorry I hadn't got back to you. I hadn't forgotten you. I'm not ghosting you. It's just had a lot going on down at the training center. I'm not even going to go into excuses in with it. Just know that, brother, I am going to get back to you. I'm looking forward to this. What's that mean for everyone else? Well, for those of you that watch my channel, head on over and check out his. He's got a lot of great content. Listen to quite a few of the videos. He's up to date on current affairs and events that are going on. And he has a lot of stuff that he experienced just like I did from the different perspective. So what does that mean for us? Well, we're going to get together at some point, chat things up, see what's what. We'll go from there. I think we could do each other's channels a lot of good. And a lot of good for all the viewers who are out there for the educational and the entertainment content. We're getting close to Christmas time, and I was thinking about when I worked at Styles during the Christmas time. Any holiday, any kind of holiday, involving prison, penitentiary, farm, jail, whatever you want to call it, is a difficult time. It's a difficult time for those who work there, difficult time for those who are incarcerated there. It's a difficult time for the family of those incarcerated and for the ones that work there. Unfortunately, nobody really does anything to make it better. Now, you got your ombudsmans, those are the family advocates. You got your chaplains, all that, and they mean well. But it's still a prison. So I wanted to talk about a particular story involving a Christmas one year. Kick back, grab your favorite beverage, let's spin some tales. The 2.5 years that I was there, I was fortunate enough to never have to work the actual Christmas day. My 4 on, 4 off, the 4 off set always fell to where I wouldn't have to come in. Usually, there were a lot of call-ins. That was when a lot of the older bosses were wanting to take their comp days, their sick time, or just not be in there during that time. This was the time for a lot of the younger boots to step up, get their holiday pay, get their overtime in. That was the times when holiday pay, overtime pay would be authorized at Styles. Typically, if you had to stay over, It wasn't for pay, it was just for comp time. I never got the holiday pay. I don't know what it was because I didn't have to actually work it. Now, the the assaults, the abuses, the barrages, they started long before the actual day of that. Inmates knew when we were coming in and out. They had our schedule down pretty much as good as we did. An inmate knew when it was our Friday. We wouldn't talk about it. We didn't have to. They already knew about it. And they would try to do anything and everything that they could to make that Friday an absolutely horrible ass day. At least in segregation. I can't speak for Gen Pop. I don't remember ever having to work one of my Fridays in Gen Pop whenever I would do the utility boss. I don't remember if I ever did. If I did, it obviously didn't have much of an impact on me. But in Seg, they'd wait till about halfway during the shift, and oh, here we go. This one here is faking suicide. This one's cutting himself with the bed sheet. This one's trying to hang himself with a 2-inch piece of shoestring. Obviously, I'm jesting, but you get the point. They were trying to do anything and everything they could to make that last day just absolutely miserable. So when you left on your Friday, you weren't leaving on any kind of a good note. You were leaving on just a, God bless, I am done. And if an inmate could get a boss to quit, they won. They loved that shit. They loved seeing bosses get walked off. They loved the next time you come in and boss wouldn't be there and finding out that he or she had resigned. They just absolutely loved it. I'm not saying that as TDC inmates on a whole. I'm saying that for the SEG inmates. And my man over at Texas Prison Stories, he can attest to how atrocious and monstrous these individuals were. They just lived for that kind of stuff. So as it would get close to Christmas, they wanted to make sure they had maximum effective range for all their assaults. What does that mean? That means they'd start a lot of times a week before. They didn't know if you were going to try to take some vacation, maybe call in. It happened all the time. You're off for 4 days. The Monday that you're supposed to be back, call in sick. Officers would do it all the time to try to get 5 days out of those 4. If you did that and you took it with sick time, you had to come back in with a doctor's note. That was to try to prevent that from happening. Those doctor's notes were pretty easy to have copies made. Mm-hmm. Anyway, y'all get where I'm going with that. So they get started early. They wanted to make sure that you just have an absolutely miserable time and probably not enjoy it. If you think that Christmas was a festive time inside the penitentiary, maybe it was for some, not where I was. You got to look at the human beings that we're talking about here. The guys I dealt with in SEG, they weren't back there for singing too loud in the church choir, donating too much when the offering plate came down, volunteering in with any kind of good deeds. Quite the opposite. They were in segregation because the conduct that they had demonstrated had proven they couldn't even function in a general population prison society, much less out in the free world. These guys, the ones I dealt with, they didn't come from a background, say, that I did. You're going, no shit. Okay, well, where I'm going with is they typically, probably, I'm guessing, didn't wake up Christmas Eve morning, ready for the presents to come in. Christmas Eve night, Santa comes and visits, leaves presents under the tree. They wake up, there's some music playing, ready to open present. They didn't come from a background like that. A lot of them grew up already in the system. The Texas Youth Commission, the TYC, they were in that, graduated to the real stuff after they were already over 18, 17, whatever the hell it was. They didn't come from that background. However, they were cognizant enough to know what the holiday was. They recognized it. The way that they observed it and the way that you and I, depending on who's viewing this, observes it Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, a lot different. they would get down and depressed just like anybody else. While they didn't celebrate it the way that we did, they knew it was a festive time, and they knew it was a time that they couldn't partake in it. They were going to be waking up in a tiny cell, smaller than that bathroom there behind me, with nothing. They knew that the officers that were off were going to be doing their best to enjoy it. Whatever kind of festivities that they did, they knew they were going to be going on with that. And the ones that I dealt with, they resented that. It was one of those, if I can't enjoy this holiday, why the fuck do you get to enjoy it as well? So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure, because that's where my mentality is. And they would do anything and everything that they could to make it miserable. It just, the verbal assaults increased, the jacking of the slots, chunking would increase. They start throwing that stuff out the cells, whatever they could to just make it a miserable time. Where they would get off a lot, and I'd hear SSIs talk about this, was how happy these guys would be knowing that a boss resigned right before Christmas time, and they were in some financial hardship and couldn't enjoy it the best that they could. They absolutely loved that. That was the caliber of human being that was in there. So, you folks that are considering this for a career or new to the career of it, that's who these guys are. I've already done all the warnings and everything from other videos. I'm not going to go into that. Just know that if you're dealing with a guy in SEG, I say guy because I worked at an all-male facility, meaning inmates. You're dealing with a guy in SEG, he's a bad dude. He didn't get there by accident. Straight up. So, like I say, while I never actually got to work the actual Christmas day, they'd get you. They'd wait till afterwards. I don't remember the exact date. Might have been the 27th or the 28th when the 4-day off series would end to get ready to come in. And they knew that you had that time off. They checked that shit off on their calendar just like anybody else. They knew you'd been at home enjoying Christmas time. And here they are ready to start up the bullshit, just make it just as bad as they could. Just to see if they could get someone to walk off. That would be their present. That'd be their present to themselves. Sometimes to each other. They'd set each other up. Hey, if you can get old boss man Cornet, walk off before the end of this 4 set, I'll give you my suit for the rest of the month. They made deals like that. And when Officer Cornet didn't come back in, dude was paying up in ramen and whatever else he could traffic and trade over to that cell. That's just how it was, folks. Guys, I'm rambling at this point. I just want to let you guys know that, hey, everything's good. I've actually been on leave all this last week, military equivalent of vacation. Was able to rest, recharge. Once I get done here with this, I'm going to go fire up the grill outside. Now that all the ice and everything's melted off down below, I'm going to make some homemade jerky. Enjoy the last couple of days that I have off. Get back to the training center, find out what the routine is there. Get the house ready for Christmas. We've got a bunch of presents and everything downstairs. Got some wrapping still that I got to do. But otherwise, things are good. Things are looking up. My man over at Texas Prison Stories, bud, we're still going to hook up. We're still going to chat. Still going to get together. I hadn't forgot about you, man. Just bear with me. I wanted to get this video out just to let the couple of 100 viewers that I have here that do enjoy the content, I'm still around, and everything's good. If I don't see you guys before the actual day, maybe I will, I'm not sure. Merry Christmas to everyone. Everyone stay safe, stay warm, take care. If y'all need me, I'll be outside over the grill. Later, folks. Carter's out.